Jaime Vasquez. He's the branch manager over at BMO Bank. He's been there for 12 years. He has 25 years of banking experience, 23 here in Green Valley. And he's on the board of directors of the Green Valley Community Foundation.
Sir.
So I'm going to turn it over to Jaime.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So as Doug said, my name is Jaime Vasquez. I'm with BMO Bank. I know BMO Bank is kind of, a lot of people don't know about BMO Bank, so I'm going to give you a little bit of history of how BMO came to the United States. So in 1886, Harris Bank originated out of Chicago, Illinois. Very oldest institution. BMO Bank is Bank of Montreal, so this Canadian entity, Canadian bank, essentially top 40 in the world, very strong bank. They bought out Harris Bank in 1987. So they've been using Harris Bank out of Chicago as their primary U.S. holding to operate within the United States. Now, in 2011, they started rebranding everything to BMO Harris Bank. Harris Bank came to Green Valley after it acquired M&I Bank. So M&I Bank, Marshall and Isley Bank out of Wisconsin, was acquired in 2011. That's when Harris came into Green Valley. 2013 became BMO Harris Bank. And just recently in 2022, we acquired Bank of the West, a large bank out of headquartered in San Francisco. It was a French bank, but we had very similarities. So they kind of did a bid essentially, and they interviewed several banks trying to see like who's gonna help us merge and grow. And because we are French Canadian essentially out of Montreal, we had a lot of similarities, and they decided to go with BMO. So the rebranding now is just BMO US, so we're BMO Bank US, FDIC insured, 8th largest bank now with the acquisition of Bank of the West. So we essentially offer everybody, we play with the big boys, so we're just as big as your Bank of America, as your Wells Fargo's, but we do offer, which is why I'm here, that community bank feeling. We know our customers by name, they walk in the door. When you call us, you don't have to go through a million prompts to get to somebody. You essentially have a card. My card has my direct line to my office. You can leave me a voicemail. I can call you back. So that's what what sets us apart from the bigger banks. Now, why we're here is essentially we like to be part of the community. These sort of presentations we do just because we want to do them. We want to educate our community. We want to make sure that everybody is aware that we're here to help. We're not looking to sell anything. We're not looking to essentially gather any business, right? But if it comes, it's because we're doing something good for the community. Now, moving on to fraud. So this is a huge topic here, especially in Pima County. Pima County has, over the years, experienced a lot of fraud, especially in this area. Why? Because, exactly, the elderly community is targeted. It's a more affluent community. It's easy to trick our retired community, the retirement community. So just a little bit here. So 33.8%, so 65 years and over, here in the county are targeted, which is pretty crazy. It is quite impressive. When everything really started was during COVID. So COVID, a lot of fraud kind of increased. The good news about that is essentially that over the last 2 years, fraud has decreased. And at a pretty big rate, so the fraud has decreased at 60% nationally around the United States, which is quite awesome. And it's all because of this education, educating our people, educating our customers, educating our county, our community, everyone. The more you know, the more you can repel these fraudsters from trying to get to your money that you've accumulated over the years, right? Any questions from anybody? No questions, all right. I want to make it as interactive as possible. Now,
Where is your bank located?
our bank is located right off the, like as soon as you leave on Continental, you know where the Kentucky Fried Chicken is? So we're right literally between this entrance here, the plaza, and the Kentucky Fried Chicken entrance. So we are located, we have tenants there. Access Wisdom, I see, is a sponsor of you guys. So they are in the same plaza as we are, essentially the same building.
That's M&I.
Yes, M&I. All right, guys, so I'm going to move on to a little bit of, I like to ask this question. How many of you receive calls probably daily from people you don't know or from numbers that are unknown or everybody? So that's usually like when you get to phone calls, that's usually how fraud starts. All right, so fraud starts when you receive a number from an unknown person that you don't know, and the biggest mistake that we all do is we pick up that phone number. We pick up that call and we talk to that individual. And from there, the scams really, it's an array of stuff that you can really encounter. Lottery scams, we have the tech support scams. Any of you heard, you're on your computer, you've even seen it or experienced this, you're browsing on the computer, you might click on a picture, you might click on a link, and all of a sudden it's like, you get all these alerts, like boom, 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 this is Microsoft. Like, that is one of the biggest scams that we are seeing nowadays. It's the tech support scam. So you get these alerts, you're seeing there's a number and they won't let you access your computer until you call this number. And what happens is, essentially you'll go in, you call the phone number in a panic saying like, what did I do or why is this happening to me? And you'll probably reach somebody that, yes, somebody that's wanting you to give them access to your computer. Okay, question?
I found out from Norton, if you get your black screen, do a Control W, everything comes back.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yes.
learned that.
Yeah, so essentially those screens, when we see them, we panic and we try to click everything, like it's control, like you can do the Windows M to minimize, it'll minimize everything, you can close it. What they're wanting you to do is call that phone number, give them access to your computer. And what they do from there is essentially they install a program that allows them to see everything you're doing on that computer. So it's a Trojan virus. Once that program is installed, essentially from there, they can really have access to, if you do online banking, if you're, the minute that you go into your online banking and plug in your password, plug in your user ID, they can see everything. They can see your user ID, they can see the password, and essentially they can start from there, really starting to scam customers. What's next from there? Once the Trojan virus is installed, they're seeing everything, then they start essentially trying to get you to give them passwords, or not passwords, but trying to change the information on your online banking, your email address. They'll update your email address, so they'll update a phone number. Because how banks protect against from an individual trying to access your accounts is that the contact information that we have in our system, essentially we'll send you what's called a one-time passcode. So it goes directly to your cell phone, goes directly to your email, and from there you can say, yes, it's me accessing my online banking, and that's how we protect our customers. Problem is when there's a Trojan virus, that contact information, they can go in and they can change it without your knowledge. So once they have that one-time passcode, they can change the password, and then they can start making movements. The common movement is they won't ship, they won't do anything from the online banking. What they do is, say you have a money market account with $100,000, you have a checking account with $15,000. They'll transfer an amount from the money market to the checking account, and I'll give you an example, $10,000. So they'll make that movement, they'll call you, and then they'll trick you saying, hey, this service, we helped you clean out your computer, but we accidentally, like, it was, we were gonna debit your account for $100, but we accidentally added another zero, or 2 zeros, and now we're debiting your account for $10,000. Or we credited your account for $10,000, now you need to give us our money back. And it's your own money, they just kind of moved it, but at that point, we get customers that are so confused and so like, we need to get this fixed, that they want to essentially, like, they get instructed, you need to go into the bank, you need to withdraw that money, and then you need to take it to a Bitcoin machine or somewhere where you cannot get your money back. You need to go get gift cards, or they have what's called money mules now. That's how big these scams are getting, where they can have somebody pick up the cash. So, how do you avoid those tech support scams? Number one, don't call the number. Right? Do not call the number. Number two, the biggest thing I tell my customers is when they come in and say, yeah, I've been talking to Microsoft, or I've been talking, Norton is one, McAfee virus is another one that they use to kind of trick our customers, is Microsoft won't reach out to you out of the blue. Imagine how many Microsoft computers are around the world. You imagine they have a call center big enough to call billions of people. Like, and that's kind of like the big red flags. Like, well, like Microsoft wouldn't reach out to me. It's not something that's going to happen. It's not normal. Nowadays, you can't. It's like it's hard to reach out to Microsoft, period, from their own software. Everything is by chat, or everything is like, they want you to figure out the problem that is going on the computer. So I always tell them, like, you really need to just kind of slow down. Microsoft is not going to reach out to you. They have billions of people that they would be calling if that was really the case. What we do to protect those customers, essentially, you want to reach out if something happens where you have the suspicion that they already have access to your online banking. Immediately call your financial institution. Immediately. What we do is essentially we'll put a temporary freeze on the account if we suspect that, yes, your online banking is compromised. Yes, your accounts at this point, they have access to them, they might have gotten account numbers, then yes, those account numbers unfortunately need to be closed, moved to a new account, and then from there, we help our customers kind of make those changes, because a lot of auto debits are on accounts, direct deposits, so we do everything we can to protect our customers. Any questions on the tech support scam? Yes, Doug?
Okay, so this isn't specifically for the elderly, but I see it happens a lot to elderly. If they come into the bank, they say, I want to draw $3,000. Do you have anything that alerts you that, well, maybe this is a scam, that person has been told to go get $3,000, that you can kind of feel them out and see if it's legit?
100%. So all of us, and Diana can attest to this, are pretty much trained. Now, I can't really speak to other financial institutions, but we know a lot of our customers. We know a lot of the customers, the transactions that they do, conduct daily. So I'll give you an example of one of my customers that we had. Came in to our branch and wanted to withdraw, it was $17,000 out of her savings account. Hence, she only had $18,000 in the savings account. All her savings, literally. Customers, like, completely out of, like, something that this customer would do. So my associate bankers, they all got together, because I think I was out of the office, I was at lunch that time, and they're questioning this person. So we're taught to ask questions, curious questions, essentially, like what are these funds being used for? Can these funds be wired to this individual? Can we give them a cashier's check? Because it's not really, we'll tell them, it's not really normal nowadays for somebody to be requesting cash. It's just not something, like, because they can receive their money just as fast by wire, cashier's check. So we start asking all these questions. She gives them a story that she is working with a contractor that's going to paint her house. Okay. So it was like paint her house and do a little bit of roof repair. Now, usually when somebody's contracted, they'll get a check, they'll get a wire. And yeah, you'll run into the very rare occasions where you'll get a discount if you give them cash, but not that amount of cash. Usually it's those smaller jobs. Well, it's like, yeah, if you give me $2,500, I'll fix your leak and repair your bathroom, whatever they need. Those are normal. But a $17,000 paint job is pretty weird where it's a contractor not wanting. So what do? They got me involved, got the customer involved. Hey, come on in. Let's have a conversation. So I start asking more questions. So like, who is this contractor? What's their name? Or what's the company name? She couldn't answer the question. And then I was like, well, you want to give them $17,000 and you don't know who you're working with. Like, where are they from? And then I was like asking further questions. Do you have a phone number for these people? So I could give them a call and see if they'll give me wire instructions, or I could talk to their local office or somewhere. Not local. They're not a local company, according to her. So I keep going, I keep digging. So I keep digging. And I'm like, finally like, well, I was like, we don't, the main, one of the other protections, and I'll add this right now, is that banks always have limits to the cash that they keep on hand, right? So I told her, it's like, we don't have this cash on hand, we have to order this. It's gonna be next week, but I want to get more information. I still want you to bring me this phone number. But she does leave. I see her leave, and I see her the minute she's walking out, take her phone out, and she's talking to somebody. So I get more suspicious. So I walked out there with her, and I was like, hey Marion, come on in back. Like, I have some more questions for you. I just thought of it right now. I kind of told her to live, like, can you leave your purse out in the lobby for me, please? Let's come on into my office. And I flat out asked her, is somebody on the phone with you right now, waiting for you to conduct this transaction? And she was like, no. I was like, are you sure, Mary? It's like, this is what we, like, I just want to make sure. And I started telling her, because this is a common scam that I'm seeing, and I start, like, number one, number two. It's like, and she was like, oh my God. And she was like, yes. So I, like, go get your purse. So I told her, I was like, bring your phone now. And then I started talking, hello, this is Jaime, branch manager with BMO. Oh yes, I'm her grandson. so from there, I was like, you know what, like, we're gonna get law enforcement involved, you better stop calling. And I went as far as to block phone numbers. A lot of the times now, blocking phone numbers doesn't really do any good, because all they do is they regenerate another phone number and they'll call. Now, the problem is with these sort of scams, when you have somebody waiting for you and instructing you to go into your branch and take money out, is that they're very aggressive. Very aggressive, they won't stop calling, and they're intimidating, and they threaten people. Okay, this was one of those awesome scenarios where we were able to kind of get the customer calmed down. We were able to block a lot of phone numbers, they stopped calling, and she's not out her $17,000. Now, continuing on to that same scenario, different that we've seen, is we've seen customers wanting to come in and take more money. The more money you have in your account, the more money they're requesting. And to come find out that they're threatening, saying this is the FBI, this is the local sheriff's department, you know what, you need to not say anything, you need to lie to if they start asking you questions, because then they say that the bank employees are in on it. So we're trying to protect your money, so you need to take it out, go take this money, and somebody's gonna pick it up. Or you can take it out to another bank, so they'll give you a bank account number at a different financial institution, so you can deposit cash, and then from there you're out that money. You will not see that money ever again. But I've seen instances where it's the FBI telling them, you know what, we found out that your local bank employees are looking to scam you out of your money. Nowadays as well, guys, you got to be really, really careful on this, is that with the caller ID, they have ways to change caller ID information. So you can get a call saying that this is Wells Fargo fraud department, or this is BMO Bank fraud department. And we've seen it because it's been brought to our attention where our customers are receiving calls from our BMO fraud department saying this is going on, you need to be very careful, you need to take your money out. So that's how big the technology has gotten with that now. Yes, yes. So they can literally manipulate that information on the caller ID piece. How many of you, with your local banks or financial institutions, have a go-to banker, have a direct line to one of your bankers where you can call them directly if something is suspicious? Does any of you have a number to your banker, to your branch manager?
Well, I have a direct line to the fraud department,
Okay,
American Airlines.
perfect.
Credit union, so.
Okay, so yeah, that's good. So my recommendation, guys, is know who you're dealing with at your local bank, your financial institutions. Know your bankers, know your branch manager, because nowadays I'm even telling my customers, if you receive a text message from saying it's BMO fraud, or saying it's some sort of fraud department, reach out to us first. Verify that your accounts are good, because now even links, if you click on the link, that link is a phishing attempt. It'll start asking you for personal information. Then the more personal information you can give them, the more they have to take over your persona, essentially, right? So this is like account takeovers at that point, because they can create IDs. I have this individual's social. I have their date of birth. I can just make an ID with my picture with AI now. I can go walk into my local bank. I know their passcode. I changed the phone number in the system and send me a one-time passcode. I can give them the answer, everything they're looking for, and take money out. So yeah, it's gotten really complex. And the main thing that I always say is, if you're unsure, reach out to your local bank. With us, like all my bankers have direct lines. You can call them directly. They'll pick up the phone. They'll call you back if you leave a voicemail. You don't have to go through a million prompts. But that's one of the main things, is get to know your bankers, get to know who you're working with, because if something happens, you can reach out to them directly and say, hey, this is happening. Can I come? Do you have an appointment for me? Because I know Wells Fargo and Bank of America and Chase always ask for appointments. We don't. You can just walk in. But again, this is one of those things where if you're unsure, reach out to your financial institution immediately. If you ever get pop-ups, I even say with the pop-ups, once you have that, call Microsoft or call an antivirus or somebody, even to go as far as to have your computer checked. Find out who your local people here are. We have a great person, one of our customers, that we send him a lot of business. And he's like very cheap, and he does a deep virus scan check and deletes everything that's not supposed to be there. He's great, but get to know your local techs too. I know, any of you live at La Posada? None, okay, so I know, yeah, Quail Creek, I think Quail Creek has a tech person as well, right?
Well, they have a bunch, computer.
Yes, perfect, so they have, you want to be friends with the computer club for sure. But yeah, how many of you, let me go into checks. How many of you write checks? All of you. Okay, perfect. So checks is one of the things that I've seen an increase in fraud nowadays as well. So I'm going to go into that next scenario. Checks are easily lost in today's U.S. mail. So I always get calls like, hey, can you check if this check cleared? And no, it has not. Oh, I sent this last month. That's like, so it's an ongoing deal. The thing with lost checks is when you mail out a check, it has your routing number and has your account number. If you go to checks.com, you can literally plug in a routing number, plug in an account number, and then plug in anybody's name, really. There is no counter check on there. They don't verify to see who the account owner is. You can literally order checks with somebody else's name. So a lost check can cause a lot of havoc because they can literally, they have all the information they need, routing number, the bank. Yes, sir.
What about the online checks, like taking pictures to cash when it goes to the,
So like a mobile deposit, you mean?
yeah, electronic?
Yeah, so mobile deposits is really no risk to the customer. Why? Because banks should have a sort of protection. So if somebody were to pick up a check you wrote to your local water company,
Yeah,
if I try to pick up that check and try to deposit it into my account, there should be some sort of checks and balances with that department saying, hey, you're not the local water company, you're Jaime Vasquez, and they reject that check. Some systems are smart enough as well that they identify that name and they'll reject it and they'll say you need to call our local customer service to see why this check isn't being accepted. So, but the only risk you could have is somebody picks up your check and they have the technology or something to wash that check out, take the ink out, put their name in, change the amount. That's another issue right
no,
now.
what I'm saying, take a picture, to cash a check out of my investment,
Mm-hmm.
and then it goes to my checking account. So I take a picture and it goes to the investment company,
Mm-hmm.
and I deposit, and I get the money. So is that dangerous?
No, that is not dangerous because you're dealing from your account to your account. Everything is within your control essentially.
Right.
So no danger there.
Well, I take a picture, it goes to my bank, and then the bank withdraw it from my investment.
Exactly. It's just like you. It's just like you writing a check from your investment company like manually and depositing into our bank.
Oh, okay.
So it's the same process. So there is
I
no
was
issue
wondering
there.
if they could hack into that.
No, really, no danger there in that sort of instance.
Yeah.
Unless your account's compromised and somebody took over your online banking, so we can go.
What about mortgage fraud?
Yes, that's one of the things I really want to go into.
Yeah, I want to know if these companies that charge a fee to protect you, is that worth the money?
Yes and no. So here's why that is like a double answer to that question.
Yeah.
Is a lot of these companies that offer title protection,
Yeah.
they don't really notify you if a change has been made. So say somebody has your personal information, they
Yeah.
steal your identity, they can go into a title company, make those changes. These title companies, these title protection ones,
Yeah.
don't really notify you. They'll notify you if there's anything strange going on. I'll give you an example. They will say somebody like, they won't notify you with plenty of time to let you know it's already been recorded. So you're paying them money to kind of monitor, but they're really not doing their full job.
Are you trying to say they're a scam too? Kind of?
Kind of, yes. Yes, ma'am.
Is it true that if you put your, like your home in a trust, that that's protective enough of your home
Yes.
title?
So there's a few ways to really protect against title fraud, and this is something that's been picking up, especially in the state of Arizona, quite a bit. And there's an increase to where it's already come out in the local news. I've seen it on Channel 4 News. I've seen it on ABC. We had our local Pima County Sheriff's Department do a presentation on this recently as well. So trust is definitely one of the ways to go, because the trust really follows, it's an instructional book. It goes from like, these are the trustees, something happens to the trustees, and these are successor trustees. If something happens to these trustees, then we need to follow this rule. So it's a set of instructional, and that is really hard for somebody to kind of go in and kind of have to go jump through all those hoops in order to make a title change. The other option, probably the cheapest route as well, is getting a home equity line of credit or a home equity loan on the property. If it's free and clear, what that does is that it places that bank as the lien holder on the property.
Oh, and they can't.
And so if I want to go and make changes to a property that has a home equity line of credit tied and the bank placed as a lien holder, then they can't make that change because the lien is there and they're gonna request a lot more information and they will not be able to do until that line of credit is closed. Now, why do I say home equity line of credit could be cheaper? Usually line of credits do have an annual fee, but it's something that provides you peace of mind. And I'll use our product as an example. Our annual fee on the line of credit is $75. It's cheaper than Netflix, it's cheaper than your local Paramount, cheaper than trust, because the trust, if it's very complex, can cost you upwards of $10,000 and it could get really expensive.
Can you take out as much as you want on that?
Yes, so with home equity line of credits, again, it's only strictly speaking to Vivo. We can go up as high as to 80% of the equity, of the value of the home, right? How that works is essentially, with us, there are no upfront costs to customers. So there is no appraisal fee, no title fees, no closing costs, only the annual line of credit. There are no prepayment penalties, but what we do always let our customers know is that if the line of credit gets closed in less than 3 years, so 36 months, then we call it a recoupment fee, and we recoup all what we paid for up front. So we'll recuperate the appraisal fee, the title fee, and the flood reports that we usually ranges around